no follow through.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow, you're.
On that note, hello everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
Hi.
That's Win. And as always, we're back with another episode of Streaming Junkies. Today we have got the latest James Wan film, Malignant, starring who is this lady?
She was in
Annabelle.
Mummy. I will forever remember her in Mummy.
Annabelle Wallace, Maddie Hansen, George Young, Michelle Brianna White.
I've literally only heard of one of them, and that's her.
I'd have to look at the cop guy looked familiar.
Annabelle Wallace was in Annabelle.
I gotta look at Miss Wallace.
She was in Mummy.
Oops.
She was in Annabelle.
Nope.
The first one.
I don't want to see the Titans trailer. Oh,
No, not the first one. No, the one with the apartment.
No, yeah, it was the first one. I remember. So, Streaming Junkies episode, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and watch to the end to see what we get this out of 10. But this follows it's, like I said, James Wan. I want to talk about him partially in this, but Madison, played by Annabelle Wallace, has visions of people getting murdered, essentially, and it turns out they're actually happening, and for some reason she's connected to the killer, and we kind of figure out why. So we go through it, and we're going to talk about it. It's gonna be,
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
it.
So I think this is a really cool concept, what the movie went through. I think you and I both were very intrigued throughout this entire movie.
I was intrigued in the first and second act.
Yeah, that third act was a little 3 out of it. Felt like a different, it reminded me kind of the second the second Conjuring. Like, it kind of gets too much like actiony.
Well, at least which one was the second one?
The Nun.
The Nun one?
Yeah.
The second one was fine. I thought that was fine, but like,
no, I thought it was fine. I just think towards the end of some of James Wan's movies, he kind of takes you out of the atmosphere that he set up so well in the first.
He just
two.
Doesn't know how to end it.
Yeah.
It's like
so,
chess.
I think it's just so cool. So I'm just gonna spoiler alert for this movie because I just want to talk about the character and stuff like that. So Madison's character, she had essentially a conjoined twin, almost a malignant tumor, as one might say, attached to her.
Basically, malignant tumor.
Yeah. Attached to her, and she gets adopted young, but like they essentially remove it because this thing is literally taking over her body, killing people, very horror fashion, over the top. It makes her stronger, stuff like that. And it also, it has control like electricity.
It absorbs it.
So
it's drinking or draining
electricity. So what I got from that was what they just did so much shock therapy on it. It got powers essentially because which is
that's
I don't
how
know.
It works.
It's it's just borderline. This is almost like a villain, a superhero villain. So I'm like, I get it, I guess. But it's just.
In case you guys didn't know, that's what happens when you get shock therapy.
Yep.
You get powers.
You get powers. So just go do it. Don't.
Don't do it.
Yeah. She has this tumor and she essentially starts killing people. It's literally her. Again, spoiler. But it is literally her, and it comes out the back of her head, which looks cool. And then when you see her face just dead in the back, I'm like, that took me out of it.
That looks fake.
It looks bad.
Yeah, they should have just covered her face just a little bit.
But also, I don't know if it was me. Did you? Because I put it together almost immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like some people wouldn't.
Yeah. It was pretty easy. I mean, I think I got to the second crime before I got to the first one. Yeah. The second crime where the lady doctor died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was when it really caught on.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I was like, what sold it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut out the cancer. As soon as they said that, I'm like, okay, it's a tumor on her. I don't know how that's gonna connect. And as soon as I think the lady detective said like, oh, all the hands are backwards, I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So it's literally her. Got it. Cool. But it was still cool to watch the movie play out because it was really interesting. Just how it looked too. I will say the the transformation they did with the rooms.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I thought it looked really cool. It felt original is the biggest thing for me. Like I don't feel like I've seen anything like that. So it was really cool.
Malignant, though, I think it's a good take on a modern slasher.
Yes.
I mean, you really just take out the third act. It's like, yeah, this is actually pretty decent. And it's best though. Where this movie really shines is Act 1 and 2, and
Agreed.
It's really where you're really bought into this character who doesn't know what the fuck is going on and how she's connected, and she thinks it's an imaginary friend. I mean, even I bought it. It was just really weird that she doesn't remember any of that, but explanation, psychology, and stuff like that. Where this movie really starts to fall apart though is in the middle of Act 2, when the movie starts to clarify the reveal and all that. The story just becomes an afterthought, and the script just kind of got worse.
Yeah, and it's you mentioned the action.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was already bad, like the script, but I was willing to forgive it.
Yeah,
like
for the interesting concept.
Yeah, but like when I was like, this is all right. I mean, it's on HBO Max. I didn't go to the movie theater. If we did go watch the movie theater, I would have been like, yeah, this would have been more HBO Max than movie theater.
Absolutely. I'm glad this is a streaming Junkies, because I definitely think people should watch this at home. But like in the dark, get in the spooky vibe, because those first two acts kind of okay, not the most spooky, but it's more thriller. So I'll give it that. Slasher as well. So
when they showed an attic, that I was immediately like, this is her house. Yeah. It's her. Okay, well.
Yeah, I think if you've seen movies, like you'll pick up at least one of the hints. So I will say, like, James Wan did do a good job of dropping those hints kind of in the movie. Like you can put it together. You are smart enough to figure out this movie. So go watch it.
I don't know if that was James Wan. I think that was the writer.
Well, he also wrote it, but it was two other.
Yeah. So it's a story by him, but the screenplay's by Eliza Cooper. Akela. The concept, the thing, because of the slasher style, I was willing to forgive the writing and let my interest in the movie's concept keep me seated and watching. It's just that it really starts to become really obvious.
Yes.
How bad they're talking.
Oh no, the script's pretty rough. Like maybe not even the script. It's partially the acting too. Everyone except Annabelle Wallace, I'm like,
she did fine.
Yeah, she did fine, but everyone else, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, you guys new to this?
I'm like, are you just a horror? You feel like a horror movie extra, and I'm just like, man, that's tough. So
it feels like they were just brand new to being actors.
Yeah,
they just got out. But I think
honestly, it looked like a lot of them were. So makes sense.
What I absolutely hated about the movie though was the writing and the directing.
Which is fair.
Yeah, whenever she got her head bashed in the wall in that one scene.
Yeah, that also I was like, oh, that just released the demon. Got it.
Yeah, cool. And also I was just kind of sitting there like, there's other better ways to like convey kind of this physical abuse.
God, he just went for it too, and I was like, holy shit.
Right, like there's no build up. So he just like, I don't like you.
There wasn't enough time for us to meet these characters, because we get the horror hospital scene in the beginning, and then we meet Madison or whatever her name's character. I think it was Madison, but we meet her character, and then it's just like, oh, I'm in a shitty relationship, and my boyfriend's or husband's dead. Boom.
I think it would have been fine if they did that very quickly, but the way they did it, or the way James Wan did it, it was just kind of
quick.
I feel like he doesn't know what physical abuse looks like.
God,
or domestic abuse looks like, because I'm pretty sure it's not like that abrupt. I mean, you could, I guess, explain that with...
I don't know. I feel like... So, if you're going to make it, I guess, more realistic, what he should have done is, like, she walks away, and, like, he says, don't walk away from me, and, like, maybe clocks her in the head or something.
Well, a way to do it would be, don't start it in the fucking bedroom. He was just chilling there. He was just vibing. And then out of nowhere, he was just like, I don't like you. Boom.
Yeah, his character seemed to have issues. What was he in? Because it was bugging me, and I never looked it up.
He was in something, but yeah, in that one scene, that was when it really just like that was the first strike that I had for this movie, where I just like, I'll just forgive it. I'm interested. I'll see what's gonna happen. But like, I just feel like James Wan or whoever wrote that particular part just doesn't know what physical abuse is, because there's definitely other ways you can do it. Where
yes.
Like maybe they're having an argument when she gets home. They go upstairs, And then like he's like, "Don't walk away from me," and then she closes the door on him, and then he was like, "No, I don't. No, don't do that to me." And then he pushes,
Yeah,
and then she falls.
again kind of a directing fault, but also I think it's kind of to set up the hole in the wall, and like obviously she got hit in the back of the head, which so there's better ways, and also I felt like it was okay how they did it. But so I want to talk about James Wan though for a second. I think this man is a 21st century big budget horror movie god, because like
I don't know if I'd call him a god, but he's
for
definitely better than most.
that's what I'm saying. Like so I'm not talking about your Midsommars, your Hereditaries, not your Mandy's Color Out of Space type stuff, because those are your more artsy and for your horror fans. This is for people who want to go see a scary movie on a date.
Basically, James Wan is like the pioneer of what Marvel's equivalent of
For
movies.
big budget horror movies, and so I respect the man for that. Honestly, I thought it had the goriness of Saw, which I liked. It had kind of the horror elements of like The Conjuring. It had and so also like the demon almost of like Insidious. So it was a bunch of his other films, and I could feel his touch in it. So I really liked that. So just like all I wanted to say was like, good on you, James Wan. You're a pretty decent director, and I can't wait for Aquaman 2. So
I feel like James Wan he does well without that much budget.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the first Saw. He worked on that. I mean,
which is the best Saw. But they made 10 more, so
yeah. But what I'm saying is like he does better when he doesn't have a lot of money, because then he just lets his creativity flow, and then just lets the limitation work with him.
I would agree.
In this case, it's like there's so much to work with that I feel like I don't have any limitation. So therefore, I'll just not have any limitation. I'll just do whatever the I want. That's why that whole action scene at the very end was there.
That makes sense. Yeah, a lot.
His action scene was there in the very end because he was like, I feel like this could be actiony.
I have money. I could do this. Yeah. So
that one part really just bothered me because like it just started being a ninja movie.
It was
like wah throwing shit.
I'm like, it looks cool, sure, but I'm like, this isn't what I signed up for. So
no, it was like I was hoping for a kind of a old-fashioned slasher film.
Yes,
but with a modern touch.
And which honestly, I didn't expect a slasher film going into this, but that's what we got. So I do like that. So
and maybe I would change a little bit of the color, make it look more organic than this like dark and vibrant blues and teal and orange look. It's just teal and orange at this point with horror movie is just so overdone. It's much like with a green tint kind of look. I feel like you should have just done something organic, not something like Midsummer, but not something like an Avengers fucking movie.
Yeah.
So it looks like a Netflix movie, is what I'm trying to say.
A little bit. Just maybe it went to streaming, man. Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
We already talked about Gabriel's character. I think that is a cool character, and honestly, I think this will be a one-off. There won't be a sequel to this one. This will be like the first James Wan movie, horror movie that doesn't get a sequel. But like, I think his character is really cool, and honestly, like, I'm like, I could see people being that for like Halloween and stuff. So I think that's cool. I see them. I think he just created a new like, not horror classic, but a very like, loved horror character at least, because it is pretty cool. So
Gabriel. I feel like her character has some faults now that I think about it. Like growing up, you wouldn't question the fact that you got stitches on your back.
Yeah, I'm like, man, like,
or you got like a bald spot.
So yeah, I think she was wearing a wig. I think we're supposed to assume that.
I think she was, because like her back part was, I think, blonder than this part was blonde, and then this one was like.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to assume her character wears a wig because of the surgery. So.
Whoever did the cinematography, I think you should tone it down a little bit. I saw some lighting mixtures that shouldn't go like that.
So we can talk pros and cons a little. I could agree with that, but also some of the stuff they did with the camera, I did really like.
I think that was a robot who did that. They use an arm, so there's this robotic arm where you can attach a camera to it, and you could just like clickety clacky. You could just tell where to go, and then you just have the spot for the actor.
I do like there was a lot of the circling, like going around. What other movie did that we bashed because it wasn't good?
Transformers?
No. Oh, God, what did we watch?
Old.
Was it old? Yes.
Yeah, but
this one is good. I liked it.
James Wan does that thing all the time. Like in Aquaman, there was that one scene where he was like Aquaman and whatever, the one that can't be named. They were standing on a cliff and then they were like doing the circle thing.
Oh yeah.
There's literally only one person I think who can pull that off, and that's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but Michael Bay is the best at that. I don't think James Wan should keep doing that.
I don't know. I would say there was a lot in this, whether that was a good or a bad thing, but I did like it. So there was some cool like tension moments with it as well. So I will say I liked it.
Yeah, like the song. I like the whole room just melting.
Yes.
I like that visualization. It just looks so cool. It looked out of space.
Yeah.
If you
I
will.
would say the biggest cons for probably both of us are that third act. Kind of too actiony. It became more of a crime movie than like a thriller horror. So
it's not even a good crime thriller.
Yeah.
Either. They were worse than the Netflix police TV shows.
A little bit.
Like, not gonna lie, they were awful at their job or whatever. Like the writing for them was just so bad. It was just comedic almost.
So.
Like I watch what is it? I watch Lucifer Morning Star. What did I say his full name? I watch Lucifer, and those cops are even more comedic. But those people did better than.
Yeah, well, it's a horror movie. Dumb cops are just a given.
I guess so. I mean,
Partially,
honestly, I would have forgiven this movie, but it was just so badly written. I mean, everything else just kind of like whatever at the end.
Yeah, everything else I'm like, okay, the reveal, like I already knew that was coming and it wasn't done the best. It's still cool, but also I'm just like, well, the reveal was drawn out between like 20 minutes, so I'm like, well, okay, like I get it. Let's if it was more reveal, got it. It would have probably been a little better. Cut like 10 minutes off, but still, I will say I like this movie. Whether my rating is gonna say that or not, but I did like this movie.
This is probably the only movie where I'm definitively 50-50 with it.
Yeah,
because like
there's a lot of good and a lot of bad.
Yeah, there's like a couple things that I really loved about it. It was just like, cool slasher, modern style. I like that. I mean, I've thought about that before, where I'm like, what would a modern slasher look like? And also the concept with that character. I liked it. It's just
writing not
could have
great.
been done well.
Some of the cinematography rough. Everyone else acting except
Annabelle.
Yeah, it's just rough. So
she tried. She's British.
So pros and cons there, but let's rating out of 10. What you say, Wayne?
Critically, I would say about 5.
5?
I was gonna say 4, but I'll just say 5 because it is just in between, literally, of how I think about it. And entertainment, I would probably say around 5.5.
5.5.
Mainly because like I think James Wan knows how to do intrigue, but he doesn't know how to finish it.
Yeah.
So it's like a tease when you're just right before having sex, and it's like no follow through.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow, you're.
On that note, I'm gonna say a 6. I think the good was good enough to give it just a little bit above the 5. But entertainment wise, I'm gonna say an 8.5. I enjoyed it. I was intrigued the entire way through. I did really.
It was a better viewing experience than Card Counter for sure.
Yeah, and we watched it at home too. So it's like, well, I do think I'll watch this in theaters if I can squeeze in the time, because there was a lot that came out and that's playing right now that I want to see. So I'm gonna try. But that's our Malignant review. Streaming Junkies, baby. What'd you think? Let us know down below. Anyways, though, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. Like if you enjoyed. Comment down below. What's your favorite James Wan movie or a movie recommendation? Well,
don't remember which one, but it's like I think this is 7th or the 8th.
I think it's the 5th.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. No, it's not.
It's
definitely the 6th or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 6 because I've only seen that one like once. Anyways, though, thank y'all for watching. We love movies. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next one. See y'all on whatever video comes out. Bye.
Hold on. I got it.